guys, welcome back to Empowerin'. I'm Caroline Porter Thomas. Thank you so much for watching, and I'm so excited to have you today. I have a video request from Tina, and I'm going to read it to you. This says, I've only been working for about a week. This particular facility has apparently had a few issues with customer satisfaction, seeing that their November score was low. They're really focusing on patients. I am in orientation with 2 other nurses who are all RNs. The thing is, I feel a bit inadequate, especially since today one of the docs, whom I've known for years, was joking around with my preceptor and asked, do you think Tina will make it? And my preceptor said, I don't know. It made me feel kind of depressed, and since she has such a negative attitude towards almost everything, I came home feeling more inadequate. She wasn't rude directly to me, but I just need to know what I need to do to make my employer believe that I'm an asset and that they made a good choice. So Tina, this is a great question, and thank you so much for your request. One thing that I'm going to share with you is that when you first start out, you're going to be very surprised at how many negative people are actually in the hospital. And I'm not 100% sure why this is, but my goal with Empowerin' and my goal with, everything that I'm doing is to try to add more ways that we can stay positive on this job. So I really do appreciate this request because I think it's something that if we start out with as nurses, having the tools that I'm going to share here, you can really be happy on this job. But you have to actively seek for ways to be happy. So one thing that I'm going to share with you is that instead of focusing on ways that you can deal with your negative preceptor, I'm going to share with you a quote that really changed my life. And whenever I feel overwhelmed with, how much things need to change in the world, I always go back to this one quote. And it is, for things to change, you must change. For things to get better, you must get better. You don't have to change the environment. You don't have to change the economics. You don't have to change the government. You don't have to change your work environment. If you want your life to change, then change yourself. I cannot take full credit for this quote because it is by a man named Jim Rohn, and I'm going to put one of the clips down below so you can watch the video for yourself. But just so you guys know, he says it in a lot of his videos and he always changes the words, which is why I didn't feel like I needed to go word for word on this one. But basically, whenever I feel like I want my life to change or I want my situation to change, I can always bring it back to that. All I need to do is change myself and my life will eventually change. The next thing that I want to do is, one of your main questions was, I just need to know what I need to do so my employer will believe that I'm an asset and that they made a good choice. Ways to impress your employer, or basically the director of the unit, this does take time. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to share with you some tools that you can start focusing on that will ultimately build up over time. And these, we're going to start basic. And basic thing is be on time, be present. Be eager. And let me just elaborate on eagerness for just a second. Eagerness is one of the first things that I see fade with people that have been on their job for a little while. My goal is, and I'm not perfect, so I do feel this sometimes, but my goal is to always stay as eager as I can possibly be, because eagerness is really just a very positive trait. Moving quite along, we're going to go to alert. You need to stay alert. You need to be careful. You need to be emotionally stable and have happy patients. Now, with that said, that is your main goal, is to make your patients feel warm, make them feel happy, make them feel like they're taken care of. Since I've been in customer service for a really long time, if you guys have watched some of my other videos, you will know that I was a waitress before I became a nurse. And as a waitress, obviously, we focus a lot on customer service. So there's a lot of things that I've brought over into my nursing career that have helped with my customer service abilities. The first thing that I know is quite basic, but it's to make sure your patients that can drink have plenty of water, and that is the way they like it. If they like room temperature water, make sure they have enough room temperature water. If they like ice water, make sure they have ice water. Another thing is to make sure their basic physical needs are taken care of. Do they need help going to the bathroom? Are they dry? Are they clean? Do they feel good? The best way to ensure that your patients have their needs taken care of is to make sure you're rounding in the rooms every hour. And I know in the morning that this can be hard because you might be in the room more than once an hour, so in the morning you really don't have to pay too much attention to this. But when it gets to the afternoon, you want to make sure every hour on the hour you're kind of going around and just seeing if they're okay. Another major customer service tool that I can teach you or I can tell you about is to just be present while you're listening. Just actively engage yourself while they're telling you things, and just, go do those like simple things like yeah, oh really? Like just make sure you are following along with what they're saying to you. And also, if it's possible, get to your patient's eye level. Sit down for a second, kneel down and talk to them. Make sure you kind of like do like gentle therapeutic touches if you can. Touch their shoulder, touch their arm, things like that. I mean, little things like that will just literally, like, your patients will love you. Now that you have happy patients and you know that you don't have to change your whole environment, let me give you one way to change yourself that I believe is worth $1 million. But I'm going to share with you because I love you guys. But literally, I think that this tool is worth $1 million. It has changed my life so much. It is this little buddy right here. This is called a SanDisk clip. And what it is it's basically an MP3 player. What I do with this is I download audiobooks, and I'm an Audible member. So if you just go to audible.com, you can actually download audiobooks and you can transfer them to these devices. Now you can also use your phone, but I like to separate my electronic devices because I feel like if I'm on my phone, then if you get a call or a text or something, then that can interrupt you. And, since we're basically living on our phones so much nowadays, I just like to separate things. This little thing, it's so light, it's so small. This holds 4 gigabytes. You can get an 8 gigabyte thing, but, for me, so much, and I can swap the books. Like, I don't always have to, have the same books on here. So 4 gigabytes is perfectly fine. You can find this at Best Buy, and I just went there 2 days ago, and so I know that it is still available. It comes in a box that looks like this. If you guys are wondering, I have been using these for years, but I had to go to Best Buy to get a new one just the other day because if you put it in the washing machine and the dryer, it won't make it. So make sure you don't try to wash your SanDisk, because it's not washer and dryer proof. With that said, let me give you some great books to get started, and I will type this list below so don't feel like you have to listen to everything. But here's some books that have totally just, I swear by. And this book is Become a Better You by Joel Osteen. Eat That Frog by Brian Tracy. The 4 Agreements by Miguel Ruiz. The Happiness Advantage by Shawn. The Magic of Thinking Big by David J. Schwartz. Unlimited by Jillian. Awaken the Giant Within by Tony Robbins. Also, if there's any of you guys that are worried about the economy and all the doom and gloom that the news just kind of parades on the TV, I totally recommend this book called Abundance, and the subtitle is The Future is Better Than You Think. And this is by Peter Diamandis and Stephen Kotler. I listened to this book and I was just totally amazed at the possibilities that are already, ready and available. And, it just totally changed my life. And I've always, limited the news in my life, but now I'm like, there's just no point in listening to anything anymore because we have solutions to everything. Every problem that's presented, we really have solutions to. And this book is a must-read if you are one of those that's really nervous about where the future of our world is going, because it will totally change your mind. The way that you want to use these books, and this is for Tina and everybody else that's listening, is when you're walking into work, you're putting good thoughts in your head. And when you're listening to these thoughts and, that are so positive and so inspiring and, and then when you get to work and there's all this negativity, you realize that this negativity is totally a choice. You don't have to live there. You don't have to accept that. And you can be positive. You have the choice on whether to be negative or positive. So why not be positive? After a hard day, what do? You put those positive thoughts back in your head. And what you're doing is when you're leaving, you're putting so much, again, positivity into your life that you just don't have room for this negativity. And you'll be surprised at how much positivity there really is at work. But when you come in with a positive vibration or positive thoughts, you will attract more positive thoughts. So Tina and everybody out there, I really hope that you found this helpful. If you did, please give it a big old thumbs up. And I can't wait to see you guys soon. I love you guys. Bye.